Hello, Andrea from Chasing Whimsy. Today I'm going to show you a neat little trick for lightening areas using a selection, and a curves adjustment layer. You can see on this girl, I've done no retouching or anything to this, but her face is in shadow because my light comes from the left and she was turned this way and I didn't have the reflector casting off light on her face, so I have some shadow down underneath here. Didn't really affect her nose and her forehead, they were in the light, but there's sort of this U-shaped area that's in too much shadow, and I would like to fix that. So this is a really quick way to do it. You want to go over and just choose any selection tool. I usually just choose the Lasso tool so I can just draw it freehand. So take the Lasso tool and I'm going to trace around the area that I want to lighten. So just start going around. It doesn't have to be, whoops, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be doing some feathering. But just basically go around where you want to lighten. Because her nose is okay, I'm just going to sort of skim around the edge of that. So that is my selection. Now if you look at the cursor, this is your lasso tool, when you bring it inside your selection it changes to a different cursor. So once it's changed like that, if you right click you'll get this menu which gives you a feather option. 10 pixels is usually good for most selections. If you're doing a larger area you may need to do more. If it's just a little tiny corner you might need to do less so it doesn't spread as far, but 10 is a great one to start with usually. Click OK. Then you're going to come down to the adjustment layers, which is the black and white circle. If you click on that and put on a curves adjustment layer, you'll get that on top. You'll notice that the selection has disappeared, but it's still actually here on the mask, which means that whatever you do with the curves is only going to affect that little area where you have the selection. So before I do that, what I'm going to do on the curves is go right from the middle here, and I'm just going to pull this up to lighten it as much as I want. So if you watch here on her face as I do that, watching her face, I'm going to pull up and it's going to, I can just add a little bit of light back into those areas. You can see that whatever you do is only affecting that area where you've done the selection. It just makes it really easy to adjust. So here's just a little bit of light on her face, like that. I may want to do maybe a little bit more down in the shadow part, so go back to whatever layer, get off the curves layer, go back to whatever layer you're working on that has the element that you want to change. Make a new selection. Again, feather, 10, make a new curves adjustment, and watching that hair area again, I'm just going to pull up from the center. You can bring back some of the detail and things that were lost in those shadows. This little sections like this where there's big hair, you could try that with a lesser feather. It may need some cloning to actually work. I did try doing this little area here and this didn't work quite as well. Sometimes you'll have to pull these over different directions and maybe adjust these sliders over back and forth depending on highlights and things that you get. But it's just a really quick tip to, if you need to quickly lighten areas like that where you've got shadows. This shadow right here, maybe you want to do that a little bit more. You don't want to completely remove that because the hair is casting a bit of shadow there naturally. A smaller section like that, I might feather it at maybe 8 or 7, just so it wasn't quite as much. Again, curves adjustment, pull up, and you can just make it disappear. So let me quickly group these for you so I can turn them on and off and show you. So watching her face, there's the before, and there's the after. Oh, and I almost forgot. Always remember when you're working with masks, you need to feather them to make them have a nice blend, especially when it comes to skin. So go up to your mask tab and just pull that feather slider over, and that will further help to blend it. If there was more obvious lines between them, you would really see that as you watch it. So just pull it as far as it needs to get a nice soft blend so you can't see the edges of what you've done. So there's your quick tip of the day.